right? Now, cousin arrived at 4:30 and they just go on talking. Now the time is 6. The peak sales are over. Peak sale, the highest sale. Just think of your school canteen. In the morning, 1 or 2 or 5, 10 students come and buy something. ඒ අතරතුරේදී අර ටීචර්ස්ලට පොඩි බොරුවකුත් ගහලා සමහර වෙලාවල් වලට නේද ඔෆිස් එකට යනවා කියලා එහෙම පොඩි බොරුවක් ගහලා යන ගමන් කැන්ටින් එකෙන් මොනවා හරි අරන් කටේ දාගෙනත් යනවා. කැන්ටින් එකට පොඩි සේල් තියෙන දවස පුරා. But the peak sale at 10:30 නේද? ඉන්ටර්වල් එකේ සේල් එක කවුන්ටරේ ළඟට යන්න බෑ. අත් විතරයි කැන්ටින් ඉස්සරහා තියෙන්නේ. මිනිස්සු නැහැ. ළමයි නැහැ. අත් විතරයි. Peak sale, the highest sale. Now by 6 o'clock, Jagan's peak sale is over. And the front stall boy would be bringing in the collection for the day. Now the sale is over. The front stall boy, he's the cashier, he's the seller. So he brings the collection, day's earning. He hands over the day's earning to Jagan. At this moment, Jagan almost fancied himself a monarch on a throne, surveying his people. When Jagan receives the cash, Jagan feels that he is like a monarch, a great king. When he receives cash, he feels that he is a king on a throne, consisting of 4 cooks. Now Jagan is the king, and his sweet shop is his kingdom. Right? Jagan king and sweet shop kingdom. And who are these citizens, the people in the kingdom? Consisting of 4 cooks in the kitchen and the front stall boy. ඒ අය තමයි රටවැසි. ජගන් රජුරුවන්. Consisting of 4 cooks in the kitchen and the front stall boy. Jagan surveys them and accepting their attributes, their respects, their compliments. Now, this is the story of Jagan's throne, where Jagan sits in the shop. The throne was a flat-bottom wooden chair covered with thin cushion. Right? The throne එකක් හිතින් මවා ගන්න. මේ Jagan shop එකේ වාඩි වෙලා ඉන්න ආසනය. Narayan compares it to a throne. One thing is that when Jagan receives cash, he feels that he's like a king. Right? So that the king sits on the throne. And the other thing is that this particular chair itself looks like a throne. My description again api balamu. So the throne has a flat bottom and there is a thin cushion hoisted on a platform. The chair is placed on a platform, on a stage. පොඩි stage එකක් උඩ තමයි පුටුව තියලා තියෙන්නේ. Not on the ground level. Right? මේකත් එක point එකක්. මොකද්ද? He can see the the whole area of his shop. Right? When he's in a higher place, he can have a good look all over his shop. So the chair is hoisted on a platform, strategically placed, underline that one. The chair is strategically placed. Strategically? What do you mean by strategically? Tactically? Strategical? Upakramashili. That means it has several purposes. It is not just placed in the shop, right? The chair is placed for a reason. So that he could keep an eye on all sides of his world of confection. Confection means sweets. So he can have an eye, he can have a good look, he can monitor his whole business. The chair was nearly a century old. I think this line is wrong. Narayan's may be the hyperbole, exaggeration. The chair is not a century old. So he may wanted to say that it's very old, so that he may have told it's century old, nearly a century old. It's not so. It's about half of that, half century old. මම ඒකට හේතුව කියන්න පස්සේ. The chair was nearly a century old, with shining brass strips on the arms and the back and the cowed legs. That is the picture of a throne. The throne has cowed legs. And also the throne has shining brass strips on the arms. So this is an armchair, right? Shining brass strips. ලස්සන brass strips අල්ලලා තියෙනවා. Shining. So that it's a throne. Welcome, Manuti. The chair was nearly a century old, with shining brass strips on the arms and the back of the legs, especially made by his father. So this particular chair, the throne or Jagan's chair at the shop, was made by Jagan's father. When he built his house behind the lowly statue. So where is Jagan's house? Jagan's house is behind the lowly statue. And we'll discuss what this lowly statue is in next chapter. So there is a statue called lowly statue, and behind that lowly statue, there's Jagan's shop. Very sorry, Jagan's house. Normally, he would not have bothered to design the piece of furniture, underlined as the family always sat on the polished floor. The family sat on the polished floor. That is the Hindu tradition. They don't use furniture. They sit on the floor. So Indians sit on the floor. Then why did Jagan's father made a chair. One chair? But he had frequent visits from one Mr. Noble. Underline, Mr. Noble, an Englishman, the district collector. The district collector. Mr. Noble was the district collector during this colonial time. Right? Now this collector is somewhat similar to the G.A. at present day. අපි කියන්නේ district ලේකම්. district ලේකම්. එහෙම නැත්නම් කියන්නේ දිසාපති කියලා. That is G.A. Right? ඒ වගේ තමයි මේ collector කියන කෙනා during the British time period. Family always sat on the polished floor, but he had frequent visits from one Mr. Noble, an Englishman, the district collector, who came for lessons in astrology. Astrology, not astronomy. Astrology. Jyotishe. And found it painful to sit on the floor, and found it even more painful to extricate himself from the sitting posture at the end of the lessons. So, for Mr. Noble, when he came for lessons at Jagan's house, there are no furniture. So Mr. Noble also had to sit on the floor. And as an Englishman, it was very difficult for him to sit on the floor. And even more painful to extricate. Extricate means stretch from the sitting posture. From the sitting position, at the end of the lesson, now he has to stand up. And he finds it more painful. Right? Now you can just think of your school activities. Now I have seen children. When there is a Dharma Deshana or SIL program in the school, at the end of the event, නේද? ධර්ම දේශනාව ඉවර වෙලා ළමයින්ට විවේකයක් දෙන්න හරි මොකට හරි දැන් විවේක වේලාව කියලා හරි කිව්වහම නේද? අර ටෙරමිනිය ගොතාගෙන ඉඳපු ළමයි කකුල් නවාගෙන ඉඳපු ළමයි නැගිටින්න යනවා විනාඩි 10ක් විතර. එක කකුලක් යාන්තම් දිග ඇර ගන්න, අනිත් කකුල ඊළඟ පැත්තට දිග ඇර ගන්න, ටිකක් වාඩි වෙලා කොන්ද ඇදගෙන ඉන්නවා නේද? ඊට පස්සේ තව ටික වෙලාවක් දන ගහගෙන ඉන්නවා. ඊට පස්සේ නැගිටලා ඉන්න එක්කෙනෙක් ගෑන්ගේ එල්ලිලා යන්තම් නැගිට ගන්න. නේද? So it is even more difficult to extricate from the sitting posture. Right? It's very difficult. And Mr. Noble also had to face this, so that Jagan's father made a chair for him. A signed portrait written in yellow with the time was among the prized possessions dumped in the loft. Loft is a special place. You can see the loft in old houses. Just like the ceiling. In the old houses, there was this loft, or people call it attic. ATTIC, attic. Solderය කියලා කියනවා. Has anyone seen that? සමහර ගෙවල් වල නම් කෙලිම පඩිපෙලක් ස්ටෙයාකේස් එකක් ඇටික් එකට හදලම තියෙනවා. නැත්තම් සමහර අය ඒක වෙනම තියෙනවා ලැඩර් එකක් වගේ. You can place the ladder and go up into the attic. It's like mostly this attic or this loft was used as a storeroom, right? You place all your old books and the things that you need no more, but still you find that there is some importance, so you keep them like them in the attic or this loft for future references. And a signed portrait of Mr. Noble was there in the loft. At some point in the history, with the prized possessions, the other belongings of the family, other things that they keep in the storeroom, this portrait, this picture, photograph was also there. And at some point of the family history, this photograph was taken down. The children played it with for a while and then substituted its glass frame with a picture of the god and hung it up. Right? So it's a new picture. Children haven't seen it, so they played for a while. And after that, father removes Mr. Noble's photograph and used a picture of God and hung it. While the photograph in the bare mount was tossed about as children gazed on Mr. Noble's side whiskers, Mr. Noble may have a mustache, long mustache. Samane whiskers කියලා කියන්නේ that the cats and the dogs have. උන්ගේ රැවුල තියෙන අර දිගට whiskers. So Mr. Noble also may have a mustache like that. So the children just point to the mustache and laughed. And giggled, laughed all afternoon. They fanned themselves with it too when the summer became too hot. Now Mr. Noble is used to fan. When it is hot, they use it to fan themselves. Finally, it disappeared back to the loft amid all account books and such other obscure family junk. Again, this photograph was lost, and it was placed in the loft with the old account books and other junk. Okay.